So there was a story that went mega viral of this little kid named Liam, who was basically kidnapped and abducted by ICE Gestapo thugs. And he was sent multiple states over, and he was being held in one of these horrific facilities. He got sick because the food they were given was like moldy and had worms in it and shit like that. And this was yet another example of the Trump regime kidnapping people. And they've done this a number of times, hundreds or thousands of times. Kids have been taken by these ICE Gestapo thugs, okay? Well, of course, there was a lawsuit to push back against this, and a judge has now intervened in the clearest way I've ever seen. So look at this from Kyle Cheney here. Judge Bieri has ordered the release of 5-year-old Liam Ramos, who became a symbol of ICE's aggression in Minnesota. So here's a quote from the judge. Ready? The case has its genesis in the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, even if it requires traumatizing children. By the way, this is Liam with his cute little hat. He became a real symbol because look how adorable he looks and how innocent he looks. And he was kidnapped by these thugs. Okay, ready? Never seen a ruling like this. So the judge continues, quote, observing human behavior confirms that for some of us, the perfidious lust for unbridled power and the imposition of cruelty in its quest know no bounds and are bereft of human decency, and the rule of law be damned. He's going in like only a judge can, okay? So he was ordered release, 5-year-old Liam Coneo Ramos. Judge Bieri warned of vast lawlessness and inhumanity in the Trump administration's mass deportation efforts. He said courts amounted to a judicial finger in the dike. In other words, fascism is here and we're doing all we can, but there's only so much we can do because we don't have the judicial police to effectively enforce our rulings. So he was released, right? Sent home. And then now the Trump regime filed something to try to arrest him again. Arrest the fucking 5-year-old again. I wish I was kidding. I'm not kidding. That is how depraved these people are. Depraved. Take a look at this. Washington Post says more than 34,000 Minnesotans signed up to be trained as ICE observers with various activist groups in recent weeks, many of them since January 7th, when a federal agent shot and killed Renee Good. So when Renee Good got shot and killed, more Minnesotans said, fuck this, I'm stepping up to the plate. I'm going to monitor these motherfuckers. I'm going to observe them. This is brave. And it's brave because, as we were told, they're literally taking pictures of people and throwing you in a database as a domestic terrorist if you are observing them, which is your constitutional right. But they're considering you a domestic terrorist under NSPM 7. So these people are brave and they're doing the most American thing imaginable. More. Federal agents were told this week that they have broader power to arrest people without a warrant, according to an internal ICE memo reviewed by the New York Times. The change expands the ability of lower-level ICE agents to carry out sweeps rounding up people they encounter and suspect are undocumented immigrants, rather than targeted enforcement operations in which they set out, warrant in hand, to arrest a specific person. So this smells like Stephen Miller up and down, bro. This is Stephen Miller sending out an internal memo saying, I am giving you the authority to arrest whoever you want without a warrant. Well, guess what, Stephen Miller? You don't override the Constitution of the United States of America, motherfucker. You Nazi Jewish little bitch. He's a Jewish Nazi. Make that make sense. This is him. It has his fingerprints all over it. In the same way that it's Stephen Miller who ordered, hey, use administrative warrants instead of judicial warrants. So when you try to violate people's Fourth Amendment rights and enter their house and they don't want you in there, say you have a warrant, but it's an administrative warrant, not a judicial warrant. So it doesn't really count, but we're going to try to trick them and pretend like it counts. And they made that the policy and then fired anybody who chimed in and said, hey, that's unconstitutional. They are systematically violating the law and violating the Constitution. And that's why I keep insisting all of these people need to be locked up. We need to have mass trials, they need to be locked up, and they need to be locked up for a long period of time, because this is completely and utterly unacceptable. It's one thing to break the law, it's another thing to break the law and know that you're breaking the law, but continue to break the law. They are choosing to ignore the Constitution. They're choosing to issue memos to order direct violations of the supreme law of the land. This is not in the realm of the possible. Okay? Stephen Miller needs to be locked up. All these ICE thugs need to be locked up. They don't have the authority to even do basic traffic stops. ICE has been doing traffic stops this entire time, throughout this entire mission. They don't even have the right to do that. They don't even have the right to do that. Never mind arrest people without a warrant. Never mind enter on somebody's property without a warrant. This is fucking grotesque, what we're looking at here. It's a war on the American way. all the good parts about this country. Utah auto body shop owner. So he goes to his auto body shop and he finds out, wait, what the fuck? It looks like ICE just fucking broke in to my auto body shop. And then listen to the back and forth that happens here, because this is insane. And this is another one for the next Nuremberg trials. Here we go. Listen.
Look at this. Look at these. Where's your guys' warrant?
Stay back.
Where's your guys' warrant?
Stay back.
No, where's your warrant?
Stay back.
Where's the warrant?
Stand right there.
Where's the warrant?
I don't need one.
Yes, you do. Where's the warrant? You guys do this?
Back. I need you to wrap that up.
For what?
These people need to be locked up. When they say we don't need a warrant, no, you absolutely do. You're on their property, in their business. You need a fucking warrant. Jesus Christ. Guys, half the motherfucking agents don't even know that they're breaking the law and they're violating the Constitution. They don't know. Because what they're doing is they're mass hiring anybody and everybody. They're hiring fucking Proud Boys and January 6ers and white nationalists. Okay? These people, some of them know and don't care, and others just don't even know. Hey, I have a gun and a badge. I get to do whatever the fuck I want. They think that's how it works. A Minnesota resident says her global entry and TSA pre-check privileges were revoked just days after she observed immigration agents. In a court filing, she states an agent told her she was identified using facial recognition technology. So they are incorrectly spying on Americans who are just exercising their constitutional rights. They're putting them in a database. They're considering them domestic terrorists. And that has real-world consequences where, as you can see in this instance, global entry and TSA pre-check privileges were revoked because of that. There's going to be such a colossal lawsuit when all this is said and done. It's going to be legendary. Border Patrol employee arrested in Minnesota after being found passed out in a car covered in vomit. Because that's who these people are. They commit domestic violence. They're fucking drunks on the job. This is a sick joke. All right, this one is crazy. Pregnant woman shot in the stomach at an ICE protest with so-called less than lethal bullet. Shot in the stomach, and she's pregnant. Watch this. So that's the aftermath that we're looking at here. Absolutely disgusting. Dear ICE agents, I hope you're respectful to everyone and show kindness. We should treat all people the same, even if we don't know them. So this one is incredibly sad. The classmates of Liam Ramos sent a message to ICE. Watch.
Dear Immigration and Custom Enforcement.
Dear ICE. Hey ICE. Dear ICE agents. Dear ICE agents, I hope you're respectful to everyone and show kindness. I also hope you respect all people from all different countries and around the world.
I think as a community, we should respect people's homes and the people themselves. These people are important to us and others. We should treat everyone the same, even if we don't know them.
At least 25 Valley View parents have been taken by federal agents. That's the parents of some of these kids, man.
I think after losing someone I love, this kind of makes me sad, but I hope everyone can still have their loved ones next to them.
Nearly 20% of students are learning virtually due to fear. Jesus Christ, man. Is this what this country's become now? And the answer is yes. We know what the answer is. The fascists have taken over. ICE documents reveal plan to hold 80,000 immigrants in warehouses. The Trump administration aims to build 7 large-scale holding centers to speed up deportations, internal ICE documents show. The DHS has been actively purchasing large industrial warehouses in multiple states, including Maryland and Arizona, to convert them into massive immigration detention facilities. 1,500 plus people in a new warehouse in Maryland, 1,500 plus more in Arizona, 7,500 plus planned for Missouri, 8,500 plus in a warehouse in Texas, among the largest U.S. jails of any kind, 80,000 plus total once all the sites are complete. DHS has been quietly buying massive warehouses with the explicit purpose of warehousing people. It's here now. They're building the camps. In total, they're looking at 23 different concentration camps is what they're building. And guys, we've seen what this looks like. We've been through it before. They've praised on record CCOT, the El Salvadoran concentration camp, where people are raped, people are tortured, people have no rights whatsoever. We also have Alligator Alcatraz. Remember that? Thankfully, that was shut down by court order. But it was a horror show. If it rained, the place would fucking flood. Okay? There was mold everywhere. The AC didn't work right. It was fucking 80 degrees in there. People would pass out. There were hunger strikes happening. It was a mess. It was a mess. It was a literal concentration camp is what it was. And the thing that was most disgusting is they took pride in how evil it was. They took pride. They would brag about how evil it is. Well, now we have 23 different concentration camps that are propping up all across the U.S. This needs to be snuffed out in the crib, bro. I want to see 1,000 lawsuits. I want to see it shut down. I want the people who are engaged in building it to fucking grow a conscience. People should be protesting and blocking the construction materials from showing up to finish these things. This is unacceptable. And by the way, you are fucking naive if you think, oh, they're only going to go after immigrants with this stuff. First of all, they told us originally, oh, it's only undocumented immigrant violent criminals. That's a lie. Literally 95% of the people they're going after have no criminal record whatsoever. That's point number one. Point number two is, even if you think, oh, they're just going to stop at immigrants in general, that's not true either. Not only are they going to go after legal immigrants, they're going to go after Americans. They already shot 2 fucking Americans and murdered them on camera from 17 different angles, and none of those people are arrested, by the way. Right? They're going to go after dissenters. Look at NSPM 7. Look at what they consider terrorist or terrorist adjacent, okay? They're going to go after anybody who's not MAGA is subject to be put in these fucking camps. We live in a country where they arrested a retired cop and locked him up for 37 days because he posted a Charlie Kirk meme. I'm not kidding about that. Look it up, okay? This is what's going on. It's time for people to wake up. It's time for people to grow up and acknowledge what's happening in this country. Okay, ready for this? Video of FBI arresting Ian Austin today. Ian Austin is a technology journalist who reports on privacy, surveillance, and civil liberties, including government use of facial recognition and data tracking, with work published by outlets like Ars Technica. They are purposely targeting journalists, y'all.
Relax! What are you guys doing? Around. What are you guys doing? Guys, I am not resisting. Not that I know of. Grab my phone. Do not let them take it.
Please stay back.
Grab my phone. Grab my keys. I'm a fucking 6-time Army combat veteran. This is insane, yo.
Right here.
Max, call Valerie. Call Valerie. Get a hold of James Cook.
I'm gonna try to do
Yeah. James Cook. Call James Cook. What's your name? What's your name, sir? My name is Ian Austin. They're targeting me because I had 2.5 million streams yesterday. I was at the church. They want to turn me into a fucking terrorist.
You were at the church?
This is fucking insane.
So he also covered the church protests like Don Lemon did and like the other journalist Georgia did. And they got locked up as well. They got arrested as well. They're targeting journalists on purpose. They're trying to criminalize journalism for exposing the ICE Gestapo thugs. Breaking from MS Now, the Trump administration is now eyeing Ohio for immigration enforcement operations that could begin as early as next week. The operation is expected to target Haitian immigrants with temporary protected status for Haiti, expiring on February 3rd. One of the people familiar with the matter told MS Now. So it's actually not true that, oh, their protected status is expiring February 3rd. Trump tried to make that the case. Courts intervened and said, you actually cannot make that the case. They are still protected. And they go, we don't care. We're going to go after them anyway. So what we're looking at is the Trump regime, this is super important, going after legal immigrants. They are here legally. Trump is going after legal immigrants. This is the same group of people that he lied about and said, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Now they're going to go and try to bust them up. You want to know why? There was a little bit too much backlash since 2 white Americans got shot and murdered in Minnesota. A little bit too much backlash. Got a little too hot in the kitchen for you, didn't it? So now they're like, let's go back to the old tried and true strategy. Now we'll go harass black people. That's what we'll do. We'll try to kick black people out of the country. That's what they're doing. And then finally, and this perhaps is the most important story here. Citizens for Ethics tweets here. This is a Wired article. DHS's databank is getting citizens kicked off voter rolls. That's a serious problem. So in other words, as you all know, ICE and the CBP and all these federal thugs are going around and taking pictures of all the protesters. And then your name is going in a database where you're considered a domestic terrorist. So what do? Well, they're kicking people off their TSA pre-check. They're fucking with their government documents. But most importantly, It is ballot purging. This is ballot purging. They know everybody out there that's protesting this is more likely to vote Democrat than they are to vote Republican. And so they're kicking you off the voter rolls and people are going to show up to vote and they're going to go, wait a second, I'm not signed up. This is fucking crazy. This is bullshit. Then they'll give you one of those provisional ballots, which about half of them don't even get counted in the fucking first place. This is how Republicans steal elections. This is how they get away with it. Ballot spoiling, ballot purging. This is what it looks like. And we're just witnessing it in real time right now. All those great people out there in the streets observing ICE, using their constitutional rights, being the most American of anybody, they are trying to kick those people off the voter rolls. It is absolutely wild what's happening in this country. I've never seen anything like this, bro. I've never seen anything like this. The extent of the criminality is just through the goddamn roof. Like I said, we need mass trials. All these Gestapo thugs need to be locked up. Everybody who violated the Constitution on purpose, knowing they were violating the Constitution, this is unacceptable. Everybody going after journalists, everybody tear gassing babies, everybody assaulting 84-year-old married couples, everybody, just every horror story that we get one day after the next with what happens, it's unacceptable. And their day will come. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.